For the first time in 4 years, I bought a new video camera. And I haven't even been able to use it yet because I don't have a lens for it, but one day, soon. I'm putting together a shoot that I'm one-man banding, shooting by myself, and in the preparation of the shoot, I thought it'd be an awesome opportunity to share with you how I plan for shoots, especially as a solo filmmaker. Solo filmmaking, a one-man band operation, is one of the hardest things to pull off. And if you're going to pull it off, you want to make sure that you have everything nailed down to a T in pre-production. So this project is a shoot that I'm doing on spec, is a commercial project that I'm doing totally because I decided that I wanted to. Nobody is paying me to shoot this. On the down low, I might be starting a new company, and this piece in particular might be the first installation for the portfolio for that company. So as someone who never rides bicycles, has never cycled before in my life, I decided that I was going to shoot a cycling commercial. I'm driving around with Anna around the island of Maui and passing on these epic, amazing roads, on cliff sides, going through deserts, going through forests. Along the way, I'm seeing people, crazy people, cycling on these roads, these super dangerous roads, highways with cars flying around turns, and people are just solo on bicycles, climbing up 10,000 feet elevation hills, flying down these hills, doing insane stuff that I would never do. And it kind of got me thinking, like, this is pretty crazy stuff. Like, it would be a really epic video to make. So the first thing I do when I'm starting out making commercial, especially for something that I've never done before my entire life, something like cycling, I want to become a master at cycling. I want to know everything that there is to know about cycling. So I physically spent an entire day of work sitting on my computer, going through watching cycling videos, cycling films, learning the culture of cycling. Why do people cycle? What gear is involved in cycling? What brands are people buying in the cycling industry? What about cycling is appealing to people? Because I've never done it and I've never wanted to do it. As I'm going through learning about cycling, I'm not only learning about the actual sport itself, but I'm also seeing the ways in which people video cycling, the ways in which people photograph cycling, and starting to get ideas for shot ideas and storylines. Now everyone is going to have their own means of organizing and putting together their pre-production plan for their shoots, but for me, I like to use a platform called Milanote. And yes, this video is sponsored by Milanote, but honestly, like the easiest sponsorship I've ever done because I was going to use this anyway. So what you're looking at right now is my brain, everything that I've visualized and brainstormed this shoot to be, put into sort of this mind map creative wall into Milanote. So what you're looking at is my final pre-production plan. I'm shooting in a couple days, so not much is going to change right here, but I want to demonstrate and show you how I got to this point. For someone who hates planning things, hates organizing things, and someone who just wants to like visually see most of the things that they're planning, like this is why I use Milanote. So I want to show you how I ended up getting to this final stage of pre-production. And here I created a little YouTube demo board for us to start over within. So as I'm taking in all this content, this cycling content, I'm seeing these videos that I'm really inspired by. I'm seeing photography that I'm inspired by, and I'm taking screenshots. So while I'm watching that, if I see a frame I like, I Control-Shift-4, screenshot that frame. It goes to my desktop, and on my desktop, I have cycling references. I go ahead and drop that screenshot right in there. So once I've gone through that inspired viewing session and I found videos and photos that really inspired me, and I saw them as references for, potential ideas that could influence the direction of my video, I then take them from my desktop and I put them into a new board in Milanote. I call it references, or I can even use it as a mood board. And I take them right from my desktop and I just drop them all right into this board, and they just automatically populate and upload into this board, and they do it in a nice, like equally distributed, just like aesthetically pleasing grid that I have to put no effort into creating, which saves me a lot of time. Then if I want to be able to recall all those full videos I watched, and I want to be able to go back to refer to them to get further inspired by the direction, the pacing, the timing, whatever it is I liked about that video, what I can do is create a new column, call it video references. I can create a new link, drop the link from that video in there, and put it right into that column. So now I have them all in one place. Very easy for me to find and just click on right from the platform. I can just click the play button and I'll play it right here on my main board here. Nothing gets me more inspired than watching work done by other people that I really admire. And while I'm watching the work, it's sparking ideas of my own, and being able to connect things that they've done with your new ideas is when you're gonna find yourself creating really good concepts. I'm also able to freely just jot down blue sky notes while I'm watching these things, just writing down random thoughts that come into my head while I'm watching, you know, all these videos and getting inspired. Connecting rider to environment. You don't even have to spell anything right. Like, this is all blue sky notes. Blue sky being, you know, it's up in the air, it's general. It doesn't have to be judged, just whatever comes to your mind is being written down. Shoot these wherever you want, all over this canvas, if you will. You know, in one video in particular, I heard a song that had like a little strings legato thing, and it was very calming, and I was like, ooh, that could be a nice direction for music for my piece. So I write down, you know, strings legato. Once you have all these blue sky ideas all over the place and you want to organize them, you can create a new column. Just drop all those in there and you can title it Blue Sky Notes. You can color it blue if you want. Like, here's the actual list of all the blue sky ideas that I came up with, the things that came out of my head just as I was watching these reference images and such. So the next part was a little tricky. I had this concept, I had this idea, I was inspired and feeling good. I felt like I was starting to gander a direction for what I want this video to be, and then I quickly started to realize that I was new to Maui, new to the island. I didn't know many people. I didn't really know anyone who was a cyclist. So to find a rider, I went to Instagram and I looked up hashtag Maui cycling, and just scrolling through, there was one person in particular who had really nice photos and I was seeing a lot of, and it was Ride Maui, and the owner of the Ride Maui account is this beautiful looking man, looks the part, all the right gear. He's into photography, into visuals, so someone who could appreciate a project like this. So I went to Rodrigo's page and I shot him a message just out of the blue. Let me see what I said. I said, hey brother, this is a bit random, but I'm a filmmaker new here to Maui. I've been looking to shoot a piece on a cyclist for a while and just driving the island. I've never seen a more beautiful place to make it happen. And then I just asked him a general question. I asked him if he grew up here on the island. We got to talking and we eventually got to a place where we decided that we were gonna meet up, hang out, shoot the shoot. We met up at a brewery. I don't drink alcohol, but he told me to get a kombucha. That was my first time ever having a kombucha. But super awesome dude, really genuine. He talked about his favorite cycling brands. One in particular is Rafa, a cycling company. So I was like, okay, let's do some kind of branding, commercial, documentary, and kind of make it like a spec commercial for Rafa. So getting to know Rodrigo, getting to know the brand of Rafa a little bit, I've decided that I wanted to focus the video's direction into more of a short form branded documentary type thing that, you know, I really personally enjoy making. So now that I kind of have an idea of the story that I want to tell, I'm starting to think about questions that I can ask Rodrigo in his interview to help guide that story around. So I created a column for myself in Milanote that I can just put right next to my video references and my mood and like all this awesome stuff in one place. Can you describe Maui's riding landscape? Why do you ride? What is the cycling community like here in Maui? What does it mean to represent the cyclists in Maui? And general questions that guide me to a point where I'm able to hit the motifs and themes that I want to hit. From there, I start generating preliminary shot list ideas, and I do that in the form of a checklist that you're able to create with Milanote. I start making checklists for pre-week checks, like check the drone, make sure the drone's working. I haven't used the drone in a while, so I really gotta get that up in the air, make sure everything's working. There's one video in particular that I found that I really like the music from. So I created a column for music, directed an arrow to the video that inspired the music to my video column. That string legato, cello, classical type music. I went to music bed, which is where I used to get all my music. Then I went through and found music that best fit this particular project, just adding it to Rafa Ride Maui project. And there was one song that I really loved and enjoyed, and I was able to download that file and put it in my board. So I can look at anything on my board. I can look at my references. I can, be like working on my preliminary shot list, and I can play the music that I found in the background. And that always helps inspire me to think about shots, think about the pacing, think about the mood, think about the images I could possibly, create on that day. Really, like, the main benefit of Milanote is having everything laid out in front of you, being able to see your entire brain, your entire thought process. It's been super helpful for me, and it's so easy to navigate, so easy to just move stuff around. If you have an image that you really enjoyed and you can't remember, why you took a screenshot of that image, like, you can drop a comment to it. You can pin that comment. And here I said, this would be a great ending shot for a portrait. And I can just hide that and be like, oh, cool. So locations wise, I would sort of go out and do a scout. But for this situation in particular, Maui's a very small island, and I've recently driven around the entire island. I've taken videos and photos along those trips, so I kind of know already what everything looks like. I know where the sun sets, which is a huge advantage for this project. So I already kind of knew where I wanted to shoot this. I asked Rodrigo for his availability and his schedule. He told me, and I put together a preliminary schedule. So when I'm creating a schedule and creating like a shot list for my day when I'm out shooting by myself, I try not to make it too rigid. I want it to feel loose. I want it to give myself opportunities that when I'm on that shoot day, I'm able to see things and be like, oh, like, this is how we should shoot this. So if I am feeling stuck, if the juices aren't flowing, I can just look at some reference images, and that does a lot more for me in terms of inspiring ideas and remembering specific shots that I wanted to get, rather than just a bunch of words that just kind of feels overwhelming and dry for me. So here on Monday, April 12th, we're gonna shoot from sunrise to 10 a.m. A general idea, a crew ride, locked off wides, gimbal tracking. That's like the main things that I wanna hit on for that day. And then I just have a bunch of reference images that I'm seeing for that particular ride. So I have the days planned out here. Then I also have written down everyday capture. So every day, these are specific things that I want to make sure I capture, like whether it's environmental wide shots, textures of the environment, and those sort of things. Shooting by yourself, planning by yourself, creating these complex productions by yourself is extremely challenging. So to help put all of that to rest, to help ease the process for yourself, it helps to have something like Milanote, something to help organize like your entire brain into one, to just get it all fleshed out and help relieve your brain of that task of having to remember all these things. So I'm gonna be shooting this in 2 days. I'll be out there by myself. Hopefully have someone shooting BTS for all you to follow along with. Hopefully maybe have like a production assistant to help. But I'll be able to bring my backed up brain with me with the Milanote app. Like, I can just go to my schedule and see all those visual representation of a shot list that I created for myself when I'm out on the fly. So that is my process for creating concepts and doing pre-production for a shoot when it's pretty much just myself, one-man band in it. So if you're planning a shoot and you want to give Milanote a shot, you're able to sign up for free with the link in my description below. And good luck on your next project. Let me know if you need anything. Love you.